funky beat. Funky beat makes me horny. That's a funky
Real Radio
beat.
Monsters on YouTube. What's up? I'm Russ Rollins along with Angel and Ryan and Carlos. And man, on the line with us right now, we have one of the greatest percussionists of all time. It is Shelia E with us. Hello, Shelia E. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
We are so excited to talk to you. I was talking about the fact that you were going to call, and I said, oh, she was a great drummer. And boy, several people got on to me and said, don't call Shelia E a drummer. She's a percussionist, and there's a big difference, Russ. You might make her mad. Is there that big of a difference? Is that a sticking point with you?
Actually, what was worse when you said was.
She still is.
My bad. You're right. I didn't mean it that way.
Oh my God. That was worse.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, man. Wow. No, they call me Queen of Percussion. I am also a percussionist and a drummer, so they both apply, but yes.
Yeah,
I'm still playing and still alive.
And you're still playing and still absolutely amazing. And so I thought I remembered. Did you play drums for Prince's band for a while?
Yes.
Yeah.
On the Sign of...
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, on the Sign of the Times tour, I think you were doing drums on that tour, correct?
Sign of the Times and Love Sexy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Ringo Starr. Yeah, playing drums on 3 tours with Ringo.
Oh, wow. When did you start percussion? Like, what age?
I was playing when I was younger, but because my dad still plays, I learned from watching him play and grew up in the industry like that. And then at 15, I played with my dad at this big concert, and then I realized that this is what I'm supposed to do and started going out on tour with my dad at 15. So this year is my 50th year in the business.
Wow.
So here's a little tidbit, Shelia E., that these guys aren't familiar with. Would you let them know who your godfather is?
Tito Puente.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so
the
her
great
godfather,
Tito Puente.
Tito Puente. So one of your shows that you came to Orlando years and years ago, it was one of the times, like my father from Puerto Rico and Tito Puente albums when I was growing up and everything, and he bought tickets to your show, and he's like, Angel, you're coming with me. I want to go see, because he remembered you playing with your dad with Pete, and he had those albums as well. And it was one of the best shows that my father and I ever got to go. And the thing that stands out to me, it was that it was his thing. He was like, I bought these tickets. I want you to come with me. And you were playing here in Orlando.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a blast.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's beautiful. Well, thank your dad.
Absolutely. He's listening right now because he was excited that we were talking to you.
Hey, Shelia.
Good.
I'll never forget, with one of your first videos on MTV, and it was like, wow, look at amazing on the drums and all that. Have you had a lot of like young girls tell you that they got into drumming or they got into percussion because of you?
Oh, absolutely. All the time I get that, yeah. And because of social media, we have access to, find, and I do. I'm always on trying to find other young girls playing, and some of them are not young, and I didn't realize how many women and young girls are playing now. And I reach out to them and I DM them, say, hey, I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. And I do this periodically throughout the week and try to find someone new. And a lot of them are out of the country as well, and they're just totally shocked. And they always tell me, oh, my God, a queen, thank you for, doing what you do, and I'm inspired by you. This is why I'm playing. I get that all the time, and I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't do it because of that. I didn't realize that, when I was playing, that it was so rare that not many young girls or women were playing in the first place.
Right.
So it was very humbling. Yeah, it's very humbling.
And I got to tell you, we talked about this the other day. I was excited to hear that you were calling today, and I was talking to Angel about this, and I'm like, because you are so influential, and that's part of what the thing behind the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I assume either you were already in it or in the running at some point for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is that something you think about?
I don't, but since Friday they announced I am getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And
Very cool.
that was a shock because I I don't think of those things, and it was announced on Friday, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's great! Congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
That's awesome. So tell us, I know you're working on a new project for Disney. It's called Eureka. That's the name of the television show?
Yes, it's an animated television show. It's music. It's filled with music, which is great. It's a series about a talented, Eureka is a talented young, inventor, and it's like prehistoric world in Rocky Falls, and it's where humans and dinosaurs coexist, so it's really cool because she's got a big heart, she's got a huge imagination, and she thinks outside the box, and she's always trying to invent things to make the world a better place. So my character is named Yurt, and I'm a famous drummer, and I come into town, and I'm Eureka's best friend's name is Barry, and I'm his idol. So I come in to really kind of mentor. A real-life situation, basically, is what I do all the time. So I try to just encourage him to, we're all influenced by other people, but I want him to use his own voice. I want to teach him to say, you can play your way. You don't have to try to mimic someone else. You can just be you, and that's what I try to tell a lot of my young players. So it's really cool to be a part of this.
Shelia E on the phone with us right now. The new show we're talking about is called Eureka, and it's on Disney Junior and Disney Plus. When you think about who was your biggest influence, Shelia E?
My dad.
Your dad, yeah.
Her dad is an accomplished recording artist, Pete Escovedo. He was a band leader. He was all kinds of different genres of between salsa and boogaloo and all these kind of things. And it was she's always been surrounded by music, whether it was Tito or her father, and the different bands. So that's I can't imagine like how musical that house was when you were growing up.
It was insane because my dad playing all the time, and it still is. Like once in a while when all of us get together, we're still jamming and playing. My dad would play all the time. He practiced to LPs or vinyls every single day, and those people like Tito and Eddie Palmieri and Mogo Santa Maria and all these players, and then Miles Davis, and he brought in, jazz music, and then Motown, anybody on Motown. So we listen to music every day. That was like part of the household, and having other people come in and play. Then jam sessions, and then once in a while his whole band would be in the living room rehearsing.
Shelia, you reminded me of something, and we all as fans we kind of put you with your career started with Prince and doing all those records, but you just reminded me, with access to all those guys, you did work with Marvin Gaye, with some of these other artists before you got to work with Prince. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. After my dad, I started with George Duke. We had started with Billy Cobb and went into George Duke, and that's when I started meeting other R&B artists and playing on other albums and stuff like that. And then I was on tour with Confunction and Marvin Gaye, Herbie Hancock, Lionel Richie. Played with Diana Ross. And it was
those
just
nobodies?
A lot of recording, a lot of records I did before I was Shelia E.
Did you find that people because obviously you're super talented, you're the queen of percussion, but back in the day, would people try to check you for your skills? I imagine being a woman and doing percussion and drumming, it's such a different vibe back in the day. How were you treated?
Yeah, absolutely. Always, guys wanted to, and mostly guys wanted to come and compete, or let's see what you got. And I just like, you don't want to come over here. Don't do that.
Don't embarrass yourself like that. It's Angel question for
Don't
Shelia E.
embarrass yourself like that.
The one last, I guess, the last question is: now that the estate of Prince and they're letting out some of this music from the vault, is there any recordings or any pieces that you're hoping that we see the light of day that you were a part of?
Not really. There's hundreds of recordings of me in the vault, hundreds, that I haven't heard in 15, 20 years probably at least. I don't know what's going to happen to that. I have no idea. I have mixed feelings about a lot of the music coming out that is in there, that if he wanted it out, he would have asked.
Right.
Or he would have done it himself. And I think that, some of the things are not done. I don't know. I'm mixed about the whole thing.
Understood. Yeah.
Hey, do you have any work in the, I don't know, like that you're working on right now? Any albums? Anything coming up soon?
Yeah, I just did my first salsa single. It's called Bailar Salsa, and that's out with Luis Enrique and Tony Sucar. So I am starting my first ever salsa record, and I'm excited about that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the works right now, but that is out right now. You can actually go on and any digital platform and go ahead and check it out.
Well, very good. Hey, listen, Shelia E, we are very excited to talk to you. Thank you so very much for calling in today. Remember, the show is Eureka. It's on Disney Junior and Disney Plus. And thank you very much for giving
I was
us some
hanging
time.
with Russ back in the day, and I'll never forget this thing he'd say. He would never say goodbye every time he'd walk away. He'd say, swirls, it's like see you later, swirls.